This tutorial is to show how to make your hairs as new assets instead of replacements. I have had most of this code sitting around since November last year, but I couldn't get it working. So I decided recently to try again to figure out what was wrong. I was editing the character creation appearance visuals and the pack female and male body merged files, but I just couldn't get it working without adding my extra information to the whole information the game already has as a loose mod and a .pack mod. So while I had some things working when in the whole, my extra information wasn't working when on its own. So I asked for the help in the Larian Discord, and ShinyHobo was able to help work out what I was missing. Really, thank you for that. Now on to the tutorial. This is the folder setup for .pack mods. As you can see, the first one is what the zip will be called and what the the .pack will be called. So we have our generated, public, and the shared folders have to be named after the name you give here in the meta.lsx. So this is where I have my meshes. As you can see, it's a custom path. I'm not using the generated, shared, and eventually models and then humans and stuff. I've got them all in one folder. It makes it a tad easier and a tad quicker. So we go back to that folder. If we go to mods, and again, shared becomes the same name as your folder name here. And this is where you get up your meta.lsx. If you're using Notepad++, you can write, open container folder as workspace, and then you've got them all on the side here, and it's a tad quicker to open your text files. And this is the meta. Actually go through that first. So under author, this is where you put your username, you upload your mods under. So for me it's Padme 4000. The description is basically the description of the mod. So for the example of this, as my custom shortbraid hair for all. And the folder is, like I said, this is what the shared folder becomes. So public folder, and then it's the Padme 4000 shortbraid for all, and then the character creation folders, and so on and so on. And I'd generally name the folder the same as the name of the mod. Now this ID here has to be unique. This is where ShinyHobo's modders multi-tool comes in handy, as you can generate a new UUID. So copy, so make sure it has copied, and paste over that. So you have your own custom UID for that. Otherwise it will override other mods if it's the same, or your mod might be overwritten from another mod. Okay, so as you can see, mods shared is Padme 4000 shortbraid for all, because I give the folder line here that name. And again, public Padme 4000 shortbraid for all, generated public Padme 4000 shortbraid for all, and then that's your shared folders. Character creation appearance visuals. So I've added tons of information on this page. It does repeat itself. It's because sometimes if I'm making one for all races, I'm at the bottom and I forget which area I should be putting the information. So for me it's easier, so I'm hoping it's easier for you as well. So 0 equals male. This particular value here equals human. I've actually got the race UUID here as well at the bottom, just in case you accidentally paste over it with your unique UUID for each slot. So I've got it here just in case you do accidentally override that and it turns invisible in the character creation, because that means either something isn't written correct in the path, or something has gone wrong in the appearance visuals here. Okay, so we'll go back to the top. This bit can remain like that, and this as well, unless you're making obviously horns, then that'll become horns. Again, this must be a new unique UUID, so let's make one. Okay, I'll just do all them quick. Another thing with the added information, I actually noticed where the UUID is a bit more than I did previously. Previously I'd copied over the erase UUID so many times, but now I've got the information, it breaks it up a bit more. I notice the erase UUID is blank directly under the value, where the UUID isn't directly blank under the value. Okay, sorry. You can just do this for the race and gender you're doing. I generally try to make it up for every gender and race. And you have to do this, otherwise if you get a double on a UUID, one hair won't work. Or both might not work actually. Because it's getting duplicated, then it doesn't know which file to read. I do include norms because there is a norm mod, and the norm race code does actually exist in the game files. So might as well add it. And I actually like playing the norms. Okay, we save that for now. So this next code is in the human, well, this one's in humans because it's the human file. Under male because this bit's for male. And then body because it is the hairs are listed in the body files. So this code has to match the ID value in humans, pack, male, body. So let's go to there, humans, pack, male. So ID, make sure it matches visual resource ID and character appearance visuals and is unique to the other races and genders. Now, this is where it changes a little bit. For example, if you look here under human, I've got 5745AE, and then under male elf, 5745AE5C, and so on. They're exactly the same. This is because elf, human, half elf, drow, half drow, and tiefling use the same hair under humans pack, male or female body. So they all share the same one, so those ones will use that. So technically, go through all these because this makes it so much quicker. Sorry about all the mouse clicks. Okay, so now if we go back to human male, this Control H, replace, and now we want a new unique UUID for those races. So put that in there. Replace all in opened in all open documents. Make sure the only files opened are yours. I mean, it technically should only be changing it in those because it's already a unique UUID for my mod. So when you change it, it should only be changing it in them. If it changes it in more, then it might be a already used UUID. So replace all 6. So I know that's right because it's replacing it in this. And then 5 locations here. So here under human, here under elf, here under drow, and here under half elf, half drow, and where are we? Tiefling. Yeah, and here under tiefling. Okay, so the next one is the next ID. Okay, so the her preset resource ID. Do not make that 00000 unless you do not want scalp. The scalp texture gets applied through the her preset resource ID. So I generally use the base of the hair I'm using, or look for a hair that has a scalp I want to use. Though so far I think they're very similar. So to find what I want to use, I go into the games humans pack female body merged. So I've already found the hair that uses the value I need. So under her preset resource ID, copy, Control H, Control V, replace all in all open documents. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's done it. That's why I said to open them all, because it makes it so much easier. Especially since if you're making the same hair, you generally use the same values in these sections. Okay, next part of the merge, but what we now call custom hair thanks to ShinyHobo. Name. So far I've noticed this can pretty much be anything, but I name it after the GR2, the format of the meshes for Baldur's Gate. So like here, it's exactly the same as that. So source file. This needs to be exactly the same as your structure in your mod folder. So generated public, Padme 4000 short braid hair for all, pack Padme 4000. Again, thanks to ShinyHobo for figuring this bit out, because I was testing it, but I had no clue that you could actually use that, so I presumed I was doing everything wrong. So thank you so much for telling me that actually that does work, that models can actually be in the dot packs, because that makes things so much easier. And the template has to have the same path. So generally, once I've got that written, and if you're going to roughly use the same kind of setup, just change the name here and change the name there in both of these, and you're pretty much set. If not, just highlight that and copy there, making sure not to remove the dummy root. So the name of your model, it's just the name of the GR2, and it has to be named here and here as well. This is the material you want to use. The same with the hair preset resource ID. I use it from the hair I'm using as the base. So I go back over here, copy that, go back into here, highlight, Control H, place all in opened. Oop. Okay, in all documents, but in here, I'm going to go back and press Control Z. Okay, it's actually moved to a different hair. If your hair has more than one LOD, copy. Yeah, objects. This bit. and paste, and then add LOD 1 and so on. Mine didn't, because I think originally when I exported them they only had 1 LOD. I probably will update them in the future if it does cause issues for not having enough LODs. However, I have noticed when testing, even if you say there's a LOD, if it's not there, it won't load. Or I've not been able to make it disappear when there's actually not a LOD there. So for now, I'm just going to Control Z because I've not got it. Oops. Okay, so we should have now done human male and elf male, drow male, half elf, half drow male, and tiefling male. Okay, so okay, we're at this distance. As you can see, it has copied that over. So now we need that ID to be unique, so it doesn't override another mod. And if you think you haven't done it, just generate a new one again. Better safe than sorry. Replace all. 6 occurrences, so yeah, that worked. Again, make sure that matches your path and the name of your GR2 model. Okay. Okay, I'll do that again. Control H, generate, place all. That should be 2, yep. Okay. And it gets norms. Well, all but the human one should replace 2. Originally I thought deep gnomes needed a separate one, so it was free. But apparently they work just like tieflings and drows, that even the I don't even know how to say that. The races within the race, if you choose that, it still uses the base race meshes. Okay, I think that's right. Control H, generate all, yep, 2. Control H, all, 2, yep. Control H, all, Control H. Sorry. Now at the end of this you can, oh, nearly doubled that one. Check. Okay, so like that. Yeah, it's definitely changed. Oh, that was close. See? Does happen. So generate, do not click that again because all it's going to do is copy the one you've already used. Control H. Oops. Nearly did it again. Okay. Control Shift S. I love that one because it does over the whole thing. So each file should look the same at the top, except for this, which should be changing. Yep, different. Yep, D4, D. I don't know which one am I looking at. FDB, yes. 6E, yes. Okay, let's get past the ones that use the same one. Gif Yankee, F3. Oh, Gif Yankee. Where are you? Gif Yankee. F3, yeah, male. Should put that one on as well. Female is E1. Yes. And yeah, so on and so on. Okay, let's bring our folder back up. I think that should be the right one. Yep. Okay, so when everything's done, bring up Modder's multi-tool again and drag your workspace, so your folder, onto here. Pack it. And then you have a nice zip with your .pack and your info.json, which I believe Candor and Vortex uses. I've never used Vortex, so I don't know that one precisely, but I do know it uses that for Candor. I use the BG3 mod manager. I just find it personally easier. Okay, so that is making your GR2 asset into a new asset instead of a replacement. Thank you again to ShinyHobo to finally figuring out that little bit that I couldn't work out. That little thing that was going wrong. Because without him, I would still be perplexed on what was going wrong. And a tip. If the head goes bald for every single one, start new files. Or start from my base file again. Because I was using the same base technically since November, so it could have just been that which was actually stopping me from ever working out what was wrong. But thank you again to ShinyHobo, and I hope you all have a nice time. Have a nice time modding. Bye.